All right, so this week we're gonna go through a lot of coaching techniques that you guys can do and have under your belt, your tool belt. So this is week 3, and so this week you'll be shown coaching techniques that are strategic and effective. Don't get overwhelmed by how many that you see today. There's a lot of them, but don't get overwhelmed and feel like you have to master them all at once. And some of these you probably do just naturally, but it's just calling them out. We probably don't put a name to it at times, but we're calling them out in these slides right here. The more you use them, the more they will become natural part of your coaching. So just being aware of what they are when you're doing them. And then this right here, I'm gonna split this up between you guys. So if Mike, if you could take one in awareness and vision, and then Pedro, can you take obstacles and support? And then Tony, can you take strategy and actions?
Okay, got it.
So you want awareness and vision for me, you said?
Yes.
All right. So awareness, where's the client now? Assemble the real story needed to gain valuable insight and perspective. And then vision, what is a specific goal? Specifically defined client goals, including the mission, meeting, and desired outcomes.
Okay, obstacle. What is standing in the client's way? Expose and clearly define the inner and outer obstacles that block the client's progress. Support. What can support the client's success? These are the things the client needs to add or remove in order to help with their goals.
Now you say I'm doing strategies, right?
Yeah, you're doing 5 and 6 strategy and actions.
Okay, no problem. Okay, strategies. How's the client getting there? A detailed game plan that can be adjusted with gain clarity as the process progresses. Actions. How's the client willing to take action? Great commitments for regular small steps that will incrementally move the client forward.
Awesome. And so, like I said, this is the breakthrough model, and this what will keep on popping up each week. Just so you could, it could stick with you. This is the important thing of knowing, okay, where is the client? What are we working towards? And then up here in the green where it says our focus asks open-ended questions. As we discussed last week, those are the key questions to ask. Is not ask closed-ended questions when you ask those open-ended questions, just so you could get to the root of what the client needs to talk about, and get into the actual real answer, because a lot of times that first answer is not the true answer. So you got to keep on asking those open-ended questions and listen. But yeah, use active listening skills, like we talked about last week, is very important. Always ask for action steps. Provide client accountability, and then follow up to make changes. And this is constant. That's why we show this slide every time. All right, let's hop into the coaching techniques. So just talking about techniques in general, coaching techniques are simply proven ways to extract useful information. These have names, so like I said, they have names to them, but there's times you just use them naturally. The names probably won't pop up, so it's not important to memorize the names, all the way. But as long as we're performing these techniques are also printed out in the class notes in your portal. And then also, the more you use them, as I mentioned, the more you'll become more comfortable with them. So it'll be a natural thing as you continue to use them. All right, this first one is curiosity. And so what questions, so probing for curiosity. So what would you like to talk about? What is your objective here? What do you gain from this? What did you mean by that? Please tell me more about that. So right here, this is your best friend in coaching, is staying curious. And the thing with this is you're curious, but you're not being, there's times you don't be, there's times you be broad, but there's time you be focused in on the curiosity, you know. So it just depends on where you are with your client. But there's times to be broad, there's times to be focused, have focused questions in. Uh, but yeah, things like dive into what the client means by, like, when they say they're fearful or they're hurt or they're stuck. You know, you start being curious about when they have those key words that pop up. But this is helpful at all times. Can you expound on that? That's another thing you could say. And how did that make you feel? But this is good when the client is evading from the true answer. So there's time you'll see that when the client's kind of evading, and you know that's not the real answer. You just keep diving in, being curious. And I like this. The last one is like, you know, when in doubt, please tell me more about that. You know, that's something you can always use. And then the next technique we have is mirror back. So repeat and reflect comments. I know we talked about that a little bit last week too, just mirroring back. And this is something probably naturally, I know Pedro, you saying naturally you kind of do this with your clients, mirror back a whole lot, just to make sure you're saying, you know, got the answer right on what they're saying.
Yeah.
So what I think I hear you saying is, it sounds to me like you're saying, would you please repeat that? Did I hear you correctly? So this is great, but you don't want to overuse it. You know, there's times where it could be, you know, overused, and the client could really feel annoyed, you know, with you using it. Kind of just keep on repeating back what they're saying. So don't overuse it. So just be aware of that. But it's great at all those different stages too. So all those different stages that we have, all 6 stages, you could use the mirror back. And as we mentioned, like, mirroring back it's important, because sometimes you can mirror back what someone said and be totally off from what you think they said. So mirroring back gets you both, you know, and the client aligned on what's being said. So client, so yeah, that's the biggest thing right there, is just making sure you're aligned with what they're truly saying and what they're truly feeling. There's time the client may say, that's not what I meant, but I meant this. You know, that could clarify for you. All right, the next one, articulating. So expressing observation. So I see that you are continuing to do this. You keep bringing that up again. That topic certainly lights you up. There seems to be a pattern here. So this, you know, brings to light what you are observing and explaining to the client the gap you are seeing. So that's what this is about. Because it's, you know, bringing from the subconscious to the conscious, you know, from the back of the mind to the forefront, you know, for your client, of like they're doing these things, they don't even notice that they're doing it, but you're articulating and saying, hey, you're doing this. And this helps the client with, you know, with safety and trust. It builds that. And the next one here, you have meta view. So focusing on the big picture. So how does the decision affect others? What does it rank? Where does this rank in the big picture? What impact will this make in 5 years? what is God's perspective here? But yeah, I'm gonna say take note of this one. This one it'll be on the test. It'll be on the test. So definitely take note of this one.
Thank you.
So this is helpful at that vision stage. So that vision stage in the breakthrough model. So it's helping move the client from a narrow vision, from just what is in the front of them, to a broader outside of the box view. You know. And like I said, throughout these sessions, you're taking notes. I want to keep on stressing that. You're constantly taking notes of like key things that the person is saying. Make sure you take those notes. Listen for those buzzwords that you hear. So, but yeah, as you start coaching, you will know where to apply these different questions. And just to clarify, like MetaView is looking down the road and less about dreaming. It's not, nothing that's like really unrealistic, but it's like actually like, okay, let's look down the road of what can actually happen in the big picture of things. Because you use this, when sometimes we and our clients can get so worried about small things that we need a God view of things, to break us out of like our human thinking, like how would God look at this? So like another question is, what impact will this have in 5 years? That's a good one. I like that question. What impact will this make in 5 years? And take note of this one. This one will be on the test too. I say it may be on the test. Oh yeah, take note of this in the what if technique. So observing and observation. What if you did know? What if you had permission? What if there weren't obstacles? How would things be different if? So this is good because it takes the obstacle away. It gets the client to, there's times where the client does need to dream a little bit. So it gets them kind of dreaming and just like, what if that obstacle went away? Get them thinking past that and not getting stuck. So, and that's the big thing. It's like, it's good when a client gets stuck saying, I don't know. That's what this one is good for. They keep on saying, I don't know. And because of this, because of that, you would ask these what if questions just to get them unstuck from that I don't know mindset. But yeah, it's getting that elephant out the room, and because it's hard to move with it in there, with that big obstacle, that big elephant in the room. So this helps with that. And another way you could say this is just like, imagine you do know, or someone walks in a room that could take this away, that could take the obstacle away. Well, somebody walks in a room that can take this obstacle away. It just helps. It helps with a new perspective. You're taking a client you're taking them out of, their shoes and then putting them in the shoes of someone who has it figured out. That's what this is all about. And this is a really good one to use too. I know you've probably seen this one, Pedro. I know a lot of it's used in cognitive therapy as well. The big miracle question. So what if you woke up tomorrow and all your problems were solved and you had everything you possibly needed? And I'll put this question out there too. I'm gonna ask Tony. I'm gonna put you on the spot, man. So Tony, what if you woke up tomorrow and all your problems were solved and you had everything you possibly needed? What
And
is one thing you would want to do?
well, first of all, I'm gonna get up and say I'm gonna give God all the praise and the
Oh
glory
yeah,
and
oh
say
yeah.
thank you, Jesus. And in my natural mindset, I might be like, is this real? Am I in a dream? But as the Holy Spirit quickened me and say, no, this is what I've done. No, I'm going to just give him the glory, and I'm just going to give him the praise, and I'm going to say thank you, and I'm going to ask him, Lord, lead me on how do you want me to execute this situation? Do you want me to share it as a testimony, or what would you like me to do?
Yep, yep. And then what? Then what would you do? What would be next?
What would be next?
Then what?
That is a good question. I'm still in awe. I'm still in awe. I'm still excited. Like this is just so surreal. But if my finances is good, I'm gonna pay my tithes and my offering, and then pay my debt down, invest, and then with God-led wisdom, I'm gonna try to help as many people as I can.
Okay. And then what? How would you help? How would you help people?
Well, it's people that I know, which I actually know some, but people that I know are actually kind of struggling financially, maybe between blessings. Uh, I would ask the Lord, I would be directed by the Holy Spirit, but I'd be like, how can I bless them monetarily?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so I was just thanks Tony. Thanks Tony for that. So
Problem.
that was just an example of how this could get the client just like, okay, no obstacles. This is what I would do, and then you get to the heart, to the heart of what they really want to do in this world. And so we could keep on going and going and going. And then you can work out a plan, get a plan and all that from that as well. So it's a good technique to use when somebody's stuck, you know, it's really good. But yeah, for many people, it's what Tony mentions. There's financial freedom. That's one of the first things people mindset go to. But then just seeing what is in the client's heart, like I said, from what is said. You ask this to get in the right ballpark, where they're trying to go. But yeah, it helps the client dream and see what they really want in life. Something they never really voiced out loud. you know. But no, awesome. Thanks, Tony.
No problem.
All right, another technique is metaphor. So using word pictures. So if your problems were in a hiker's backpack, how heavy would it be? I get an image of a person doing this. Uh, what is growing in your garden? What picture would you paint? So this word picture technique, this metaphor technique is great for clients who are visual learners. So you share the visuals you see when the client tells you something, and it just helps them in that way. You know, because a lot of clients are that way, and that's if you think about the Bible, that's how Jesus was. Jesus and the parables of the kingdom of God. You know, people couldn't fully grasp it from him just saying specifically that. He had to put metaphors around what the kingdom of God was. But yeah, many people have to hear an analogy or metaphor that relates to their physical world. There you go. Here's Jesse. Hey, Jesse.
Hey, sorry, did not mean to be this late.
You good? You good? I'm gonna send a recording. You can watch the first half. Recording.
Okay, thank you.
Glad you're on, man. We're just going through the different coaching techniques right now. We're about halfway through.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the next one is the brainstorming technique. So find options and opportunities. So what other options are available? What else seems practical here? Where exactly would you start? Who could help you with this? What option appeals to you? So not so this is a big thing. It's just like we discussed, last week about the telemyth. Like we're not giving answers, not giving a whole lot of advice, but you could throw out some ideas, throw out some ideas and put in language of what do you think about this? Uh, and this is another item if a client gets stuck, if a person gets stuck, just putting ideas out there to help them. And not saying like, oh, definitely do this one, not choosing for them, but you're helping them think a little bit. And of course, you want them to put some ideas out there too on directions and options they could do. But ultimately, they'll be picking that option. They'll be picking it themselves. Because the big thing is sometimes we do need that third and fourth option. There may be just one or two options. It's like, ooh, you look at it as the coach, and you're like, I don't know about these two options. And so there's a time we need to brainstorm, like, okay, let's think some more and let's get a third or fourth option out there. And this really helps with that. It's brainstorming. And then debriefing, inquire and get updated. So what has happened since we last met? Give me a progress report on that. Did you get to speak with this person? What obstacle popped up this week? And so this should only take 5 to 6 minutes. And this could be at the beginning of your session, just you checking in on the different action items that they did. But yeah, 5 to 6 minute update from the last talk. Listen for excuses. This is a big time. You may hear some excuses and getting off track, all those type of things. Just diving into that and see like, okay, what obstacles popped up for them not reach their goals. But yeah, need to establish an agenda to keep moving forward. But yeah, use this if the client tries to go off the rails in the meetup as well. It's just like, okay, let's debrief. But overall, accountability is a big part of this debriefing. That's a big thing, just keeping the client accountable. That's why you want to do this. And you want to watch out for judging and or preaching during this time. You don't want to fall into judging and preaching so much during this time, but but definitely keep them accountable. And then this technique, this will definitely, if you had a client, if you have that person for a while, definitely clearing will definitely pop up. Allow the client to vent. So you don't seem yourself today. I am curious about where you are at, where your head is right now. What's going on? Your heart doesn't seem to be in the process today. Or tell me what you really think. There's a time where, a client may be going through something, tragic may happen. They may have gone through a breakup or divorce, something like that. And they just need to, just cry it out and talk, get things off their chest. And so that's fine. And it may uproot the whole coaching session or whatever, but, that may be what you need to focus on. Is just getting them past that obstacle, that big obstacle that popped up for them. Because the big thing is just know how to get the client to move along, keep moving forward. You don't want them to stay in that pit. It's hard to be in that pit, and just getting them out of that. And I know, so one of the last techniques we're going to talk about is turning the lights on. But this is with the clearing and everything, with this technique, you could accompany it with the turn the lights on technique, is where, you're turning the light on and letting them see the positive where God is and, where the light is. and this will naturally pull them out of that pit, you know, when you turn that light on for them during this clearing process. Yeah, requesting permission to share. So may I have your permission to share something here? I am going to request that you take a bold step this week, and what will you commit to here? So this is just, you know, just proper protocol and coaching of asking this and just letting them know, like, you are taking off the coaching hat and getting personal. You know, you're sharing a personal story, or just sharing a bold statement or a bold ask of the client, or asking to share a testimony. You may share a testimony that you've been through that it kind of relates, and you know, and it helps build that the trust with that person too. It relates to them. Yeah, this is, like I said, inviting the client into something personal. You have to say, but this is a powerful technique. This is powerful. And the next technique is championing. So cheering on your client. So I believe you could do this. Keep pressing on. You are almost there. Don't let one bad day define your entire week. So this is big. This is encourage. And so this is big with those building that strategy, building the action steps, you know, especially during that debriefing process when you're checking on those action steps and, you know, how they're, you know, progressing towards their goal. It's good to have that encouragement, you know, along the way. It keeps them going. And the next one is affirming. So validating the client. So you probably don't even realize how smart you really are. So that was highly creative of you. Your dream reveals your servant's heart. I am honored to be your coach. So here you're just, you know, telling the strengths that you see, and you're giving life to that person, you know. And it helps when they're, you know, they're diving in, they're being personal, and they're actually giving you real answers. It's not that, like I said, they're not giving that first answer is never really the real answer. It's like when they're like, you're all the way in, you're asking those questions, and they're really giving you true answers from their heart on how they're feeling about certain things. And so that's when you affirm and like, yeah, keep it going, keep going. You're doing good. And then stretching. So there's times you have to challenge your client. You know, so things like that dream seems to be really safe. What more is there to it that you are choosing not to reveal? You say you want a different outcome. What are you willing to do differently in order to experience something new? So as coaches, you know, we're truth tellers. We're not always gonna be, you know, be a buddy. We're not gonna be the client's buddy, but we're still their coach. You know, you have to tell the truth on, like, oh, you're not giving me the real answer. Let's dive deeper. You know, and it could be uncomfortable at times when, you know, when you're doing that. Uncomfortable for you, probably uncomfortable for the client, but you know, gotta get uncomfortable. You know, and that's fine. That means you're close to a breakthrough when things are getting a little uncomfortable. You know, sometimes our clients could play it, you know, too safe. You know, that's a lot of times. But yeah, in week 7, we're going to talk about the lies we believe, and sometimes, you know, you're going to challenge your clients' thinking. You're going to challenge their thinking and the lies that they believe. You know, so we'll dive into that book real soon. And a good one is like, what did God say? That's another one put on there too, to stretch people. And that'll get them like, oh man, I need to spend time with God. I didn't spend no time with God about this decision. And so that challenges them to get their time Like, okay, I need to spend some one-on-one time with God and see like, okay, what is God truly saying about where I should go with this? And then light switch, like we talked about before. So turn negative into positive. This is a big one to master, because there's a lot of time your client will be in that pit. So questions like, what is going right in your life? What are you thankful for at this point? What would this look? How would this look different if you could view it through God's eyes? You're getting rid of, that negative darkness by turning the positive light on. You're fighting triggers. So give you an example of this one. That we had a client where the client lost their house. So of course it was a horrible situation. They lost it in the fire. And they were talking about like God hates me, all those type of things. But that's just a no, like he was like, no. You had to get them out that pit. And so he was like, what is happening positive, around you right now? Funds are being raised, no one died. We got that person saying those things like, okay, just looking deeper, like, okay, funds are being raised, to help me out. No one died in the fire. But you have to find love in there. When it is the worst of the worst, there's still love in situations, in that pit. There's still love in there. Okay. All right. So we're right at the end. Like I mentioned, a lot of this will be on the test as well, on the exam. So just take note of this. So briefly list and explain the 6-stage coaching model. Give an example of a what if coaching question. And then list 4 of your favorite coaching questions and why. Then what is the meta view coaching technique? So just take note of that. Those will be on the exam after week 10. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. That's not. This is the homework right here. That was the old homework. So any questions? And this is the homework right here. So you'll do the identity worksheet. And you'll have to go into, so like I said, things are being updated, the slides are being updated. So go into prep for week 3. I know it'll be confusing, but I'll put it in the group me so you guys will know. Because like I said, it's all being updated right now. So right now the homework for week 4 is inside of the prep for week 3 tab. So go there and then you'll see the identity worksheet. You'll do that. And then also
I went ahead and did that. I thought that was for today.
Okay, but that's good. That's good. You're ahead. But if you didn't do it yet, go ahead and do that. And then there's some videos on there too, and audio. There's a 2-minute video and a 22-minute audio that you listen to as well.
Yeah, that was good. I liked it.
Awesome. And then you can look ahead at the lesson 10 as well, and there's some coaching samples there as well. So if you click into that lesson 10, you'll see some coaching samples. And then this is your time, like I said, start practicing these things. As you have your conversations with people, start doing this, start diving in. And then also now's the time to start scheduling your coaching scenarios. So if you want to start seeing like who you're going to coach, like a friend, a peer, coworker. Just start scheduling that. Start talking to those people that you possibly want to coach. And like I said, we'll be coaching on here too. Like we're gonna do rooms. I'll make some rooms on this Zoom, and then you guys will coach back and forth with each other as well. So, and that's an option as well. If you guys want to just take coaching scenarios from each other, that's an option too. So if you can't find anybody, outside of this call, that'd be fine too.
Sounds good.
So let me stop this recording.